I don't hate this music.
Not too bad.
I don't think
It's
I
not
love it,
cool.
but I definitely don't hate
I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
Yeah,
Definitely
same.
music you feel indifferent by.
That's the name of my first album.
That is so great. That is so weird. It's your album. It's the name of my first indie band. But, it is Mumamo. But I got some housekeeping to take care of before we dive in. And, hey, RC, whole lot to you, friend. I do want to say RC was looking mighty handsome in the vintage Green Ronin coffee shirt. Squire's here too. Good to see you, friend. Kevin's here. Good to see you, Kevin. It's going very, very well. Kevin asks, "How is it going?" Yeah, it's going well for me. Today's program is, Coffee Ronin. That was it. Coffee Ronin, right? Wait, what? I don't know.
Coffee Ronin.
Coffee Ronin. But listen, real quick, it's history time. From 2000 to 2008, Green Ronin, we published source books and settings and adventures that were compatible with Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition and 3.5. With the advent of 4th edition, the D20 STL went away, and we rebranded our titles with the Third Era logo. I know this is kind of mixed in the stream, but we're D20 adjacent, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were born in the OGL.
That's right. That's exactly right. Forged by it, if you will.
Are you down with OGL?
That's you better be. But if you fast forward to today, we released the Third Era Mega Bundle. We did it for Cyber Monday. You could call it Black Friday. It's your birthday. It's your mom's birthday, or who cares? It's just an incredible deal day. Literally, we have over 70 PDFs, well over $600 worth of stuff, and you can pick it up for $30. And in addition to that, in the store, 20% off everything that we got. I'll say 20% off of almost everything that we got. There's a couple things that are not included in the sale. The sale ends January 7th. The 70 PDFs for $30, that deal goes away too. So get over there, grab like a piece of I'll say TTRPG history, and get enough of content to like fuel your really, it doesn't really even matter if it's 3. If you're stuck in 3.0, or honestly, you could use this source material for any TTRPG on the planet. Like, that's how good this source material is. So if it's a tabletop role-playing game, go pick up the bundle, enjoy. I would even say you could probably use some of it for Mutants Masterminds. Like,
yeah. You can get some samples.
Why not?
Of great first Green Ronin work.
That's right. Absolutely. Good stuff. What is even better than that is today's special guest and the reason why they're with us. Let's first dispense with the modesty shield and say, hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
And let's unpop this future pop. Ooh. Wow.
I'm popped.
You've been unpopped. Hey, it's been a minute. We took a little bit of a break, but here we are back again with the Mumamo. Welcome to everybody who's watching us. We've got folks who are hanging out on YouTube. We got folks on Facebook. We got folks on Twitch. We got folks on Twitter even. As I'm slowly realizing, I might have neglected to post something to Twitter, but who knows what's happening there really. It's a bit of a, shall I say, dumpster fire? But we got our own fires to tend to here. Party in the OGL, party in the USA, says Claude. Giri, am I saying that right? Giri Sama. That is a beautiful name. We've got Claude. Let's see. Kevin says, I see the usual suspects have arrived. Yes. Yeah. We've got everybody hanging out saying, hey, Gene's here too. Hey, Gene. Gene, I'm hoping that this is an episode of particular interest to you, because every time Gene's hanging out, Gene says, hey, so what about the new Astonishing Adventure? And, so I dedicate personally this to Gene. And we've got Ahpook here as a special guest. We're talking about your first published adventure.
It's true.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now,
so Ahpook, how long have you been playing Mutants and Masterminds?
Oh man, let's see. I think originally I played Mutants and Masterminds during the second edition days for a little while.
Okay.
But my home group wasn't too interested in doing more than a couple of adventures of it. And so we sort of stopped doing that. And then maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, I picked it back up and was getting really into it again. And a friend of mine got me back into it because he was really into it. And I was like, man, I'd really like to have some more people to play this with. So I created a Discord server, expecting to find maybe I was like, man, I'll be really lucky if I can get a dozen people to play this game with me online. And 5 years later, we've got 2,500 people on there, all about Mutants and Masterminds.
That's awesome. I mean, from quite a journey from the Freedomverse server to now your name on an official Mutants and Masterminds adventure.
I know. I'm sort of pinching myself a little bit about it still, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity that Troy and all of you have given me to be able to do this. It's really like a childhood dream come true.
So it was a great adventure. I'm very excited that it was one of the first things I got to dev it when I got brought on as a new team member with Crystal.
Oh, that's exciting.
Well, so before we move on, Alex, I am remiss, so I plan this elaborate sort of order of operations, and then the moment we start, I just throw it all out the window and just start shooting from the hip. But
no plan survives first contact with the stream.
True. That is actually true. We've done this for years now, when we should have come to terms with that. But Alex, welcome to the stream for the very first time as the line lead for Mutants and Masterminds. This is a fish. You are here. You're on it. We are all incredibly excited to see where we go from here.
I hadn't thought about that. Now I feel strange, but good.
Well, again, that's just the kind of stream we do here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll miss Crystal. We send our love, and we'll have Crystal back. Crystal remains a dear friend, but we are also just incredibly excited for you, and just we're ready to do it.
How appropriate that we're talking about one of the very first adventures that Alex developed for Mutants and Masterminds as well.
What's interesting? I love this. Claude says, you should feel strange and good because you are strange and good.
That's a good way to.
Yeah, we're all a little.
Crystal will love that.
Crystal will love that. Everybody's saying congrats. Yeah. DT Puccino, friend, good to see you. It's been a hot minute since DT's been hanging around. One of my favorite names to say aloud. So I'm glad to see you here. And he says, congrats, Alex. And let's see. I'm trying to figure out why Pope is calling RC the human plug machine. I might have missed.
I think because RC is saying that it's a great time to buy the Astonishing Adventures because all of the other ones are now on sale.
That's right. You are a plug machine, my friend. That's right. It's all part of the 20% off of nearly everything except for this one particular adventure. And here's the reason
What's brand
why.
new?
It's brand freaking new. So pick it up. But here's the other thing too. There's so much. This is the convergence of several different things. I'm going to drop this link because, sorry, I'm typing a little slow.
Well, while you're doing that, Troy, we've got questions rolling in now.
Well, before those questions, I want you to, because we'll answer them. Our Idiocy Inc. Pal, you will answer your question and some of the others as well. But this is our first day and date release of a brand new Astonishing Adventure and a Roll20 offering on the same day.
Yeah, that's important to note. If you use Roll20 for playing Mutants and Masterminds and you're interested in this adventure, don't go necessarily right to the Green Ronin store, but go and check out the marketplace on Roll20, where you can also get Terror from the Skies right now.
That's right. And as they're advertising in chat, free girls in U City.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to U City before.
I have not either. Yeah. Ciao. Goodbye, friend. But yeah, I would avoid any free girls in U City, and just hang out with us because we're also free. Mm-hmm. Free boys in U City. Hey, so here's the other thing.
No, I'm not free.
That I want.
My grandma's not better than that.
None of us are really. No, we're quite expensive. But worth the price. Yeah. Here is the other thing that I will say. This adventure is near and dear to my heart because it was the very first Astonishing Adventure before it was astonishing. I mean, it was always mildly astonishing, but before it was official. But this is the first Mutants and Masterminds adventure that I played, that I was in. Ahpook, am I right in saying that I was part of the first? I think there were 3 of us. You ran it for us for the first time, yeah?
That's right. The original draft version of this adventure, I actually wrote it for Gen Con. I wrote it to also sort of be accessible to new people and kind of highlight some of the fun things you can do in M&M besides just fighting, like investigating and that kind of stuff, and handling disasters and civilians and that sort of stuff. And so I kind of wrote it with that in mind, and I was like, oh, this is a great opportunity to give it a test run before I actually run it for like 3 different groups at Gen Con. So yeah, Troy was one of the sacrificial gerbils.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And what's interesting is that this adventure deals with gerbils exclusively. You are no, you're not a gerbil. But what was great about this is that I was just getting to know you, Ahpook, just starting to do outreach, trying to connect everybody together, kind of start to build some relationships, and said to you, help me, Ahpook, you're my only hope. And you sat down and just showed me the ropes from the very beginning of kind of working with me to build my character. It was truly, that's when I'll say we fell in love, and we've been married ever since.
Sure.
But no, thank you. Yeah, it was a beautiful time, but it really was a ton of fun. Hey, Oranon, it's going really, really well. I mean, as you are well aware, we are celebrating Ahpook, the release of the first of his first Astonishing Adventure period, and just doing a little reflection back on in time. And I'm not going to get into that with you, Nate. But Aura says congratulations. Aura, we're also celebrating the fact that Alex is joining the stream as do we say Grand Poobah? Like how what is the official title? Honestly, I'm going to go with Poobah Grand.
It's lead line developer.
Lead line developer. So kind of poobah-ish.
Although I do like that Steve is the Mutants and Master Daddy.
That is right. That's right. That is
You're
right.
not trying to distract Troy.
Because it will work.
Right.
Okay, so how about this? People have been asking some questions. I want to dig into it now. If you've asked a great question and it's way, let's see. Our friend Giri Sama says, "Hi Ahpook, big fan of your work. What inspired you to write this astonishing adventure, and what did you base the events in it off of?"
As I said a little bit before, originally I designed the adventure to sort of be accessible to potentially new players, also players that I might not know at a Gen Con experience. And I wanted to highlight some of the more fun and interesting things you can do in Mutants and Masterminds besides just punching bad guys, although there's a good amount of that as well. I think Earth Prime is such a rich and interesting setting, and it's got so many interesting characters and villains and cultures and political backdrops that there's just so much fun stuff you can pull from and all that, and to really create like a textured world to do some adventuring in.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, this is a really jam-packed adventure. I love how it, makes use of so many different background elements from the setting, and just going through it, every bit was like, oh, and here's a new element. Like every page, it's like, oh, and this is in there. So,
but wait, there's more.
Right, but wait.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed how even the punch 'em ups, the combats all had they had an additional objective or an additional element to really make it more than just punching people in the face. It was like, punch this person, but also keep them from getting this thing, or punch this person and stop a big horrible nuclear reactor from falling on top of Freedom City at the same time. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I love that. Here's a couple more questions. Let's see. Okay, some good questions here. Some that I do not know the answer to, which are always the perfect questions to ignore. I'm joking. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, Aura says you both earned your victories through triumph in gladiatorial combat, or just glad combat. Not really combat, sort of. Let's see. Claude says I'm personally hyped that Atlantis got some attention. Let's see. Not to add pressure, Ahpook, but we expect great things from a beard like that. Oh, absolutely. Hanover fists. Yeah, you are on it. Let's see.
That's why I keep my beard shorter, so there's less pressure.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. When will the new Astonishing Adventure be available on DriveThruRPG? Right now. Let me get you an astonishing link while we talk a little bit more. Gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind diving in with some thoughts.
I got questions. So, Ahpook, this is a really road-tested adventure. You ran it at Gen Con multiple times. You've run it on stream. What, and I always love the process of play testing adventures, because from my experience running adventures at cons, I've run, I will run the same adventure 4 times, and it will go completely different every time.
Yeah.
What was the biggest takeaway in terms of playtesting with this adventure?
The biggest takeaway in terms of playtesting, well, I think part of it would be really finding ways to direct the players to the next step in the adventure in a way that feels really natural and not like they're being railroaded. And that's what they would want to do next.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's I sort of in the first couple of versions of the adventure, I sort of hand waved that a little bit, and it's like, all right, and you're on to the next, on to the next thing. But through rewriting and the process, and some, and also through the editing process, a lot of that stuff got ironed out really, really well.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
You know, and, yeah, and also, yeah, just stuff like, you know, if you want the players to engage a part of the story in a certain place in a certain way, you have to give them good reasons to do so and not do it another way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's always challenging for superhero adventures, because you don't really know the characters' motivations necessarily, apart from the fact that you're assuming they're the good guys.
Right.
So it can be kind of challenging to give them the right motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, you know, I think the Astonishing Adventures in particular are really smart about it, because they have that section in the beginning for GMs where they discuss like problem powers. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
this adventure has this setup and these constraints. M&M is such an open system that there could be characters who have combinations abilities that completely just void the challenge of a certain part of the adventure. So I like that I've always really appreciated that there's a section in the beginning of the adventure be like, hey GM, if you know, you might want to be careful letting a character with this power set in this adventure, because they'll just kind of make it pointless, make a big part of it pointless. So
Yeah.
I think that's a really great aspect of it.
Yeah, I'm dumb and I have a precog in my regular pregens that I bring to convention games. And that is
like
never good for
difficult.
investigation stories.
So Claude's got a great question here. Claude asks, what advice would you give to an aspiring adventure writer who wants to grow a beard of that magnitude?
Well, first you have to hunt one and stalk it in the wild.
Ooh,
and
yes.
and then learn its behavior, and then wrestle it into submission. And then
Right.
you know, just like breaking a horse, basically.
I
And
see.
You have to cuff the beard.
And well,
I
it has to respect you, though, is a big part of it. There
I
has to
see.
be mutual respect, and then then the relationship happens.
That's right. And so then you
it was
can tell
really
that
scary when Ahpook wrestled me to the ground in the forest.
but to take Claude's beard question and sort of shave it down to its essentials, you know, there are people. One of the things that I love about this stream is watching everybody roll their eyeballs. It feeds me. It gives me sort of this almost the Sasquatchy feel. But Ahpook, I want to know. There are a lot of people, especially in your community of folks, that are all kind of engaging in your particular slice of the multiverses. They're aspiring creators, like they're working on and testing and doing some of these things. What kind of advice would you give to folks who are, or maybe what kind of advice do you often give to people who are aspiring creators?
I would say, that's a very broad question.
I'm a very broad person.
On the one hand, I would say that it may sound a little cliche, but if you feel passionate about something, then that means you're right about it on a certain level, you know, and you may need help refining that and giving it the right shape by the end of it, which, you know, is sometimes difficult to be open to. But if you can be open to feedback and, you know, at the very least, you know, open to changes in your idea, but staying true to your idea, like if you feel like you've got something, then you should go for it and keep going for it till it's in the place that you want it to be.
I like that.
Yeah.
How would you say, you know, for people who are doing something brand new, how would you recommend that they sort of absorb feedback, because it can be, you're talking about someone's baby, and if you're doing something for the first time, it could be a big deal to be having people kind of dive in, and oftentimes people will maybe share some feedback. I know that we've occasionally run into the boisterous feedback that could sting a little. How do you recommend that folks who are kind of building their dream encounter and putting all this love into it, and someone says, "Hey, your baby's ugly"? How do you how do you help them get past that, or what do you recommend at that point?
I would never do that, Troy. I might King Solomon your baby, but I will never tell you it's ugly to your face.
Oh, 2 babies. That's great.
Right?
2 babies for the price of 1. Yeah, go for it.
I would say that, first of all, make sure that the person that you're getting feedback from is somebody that you respect. And even if they're not, it's important to at least hear that feedback, because you've had a really close personal relationship with the work up to this point, and so it's important to understand that there are other perspectives that are going to be happening on your work once you put it out there into the world. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's good to listen to the feedback you get, but take it in the context of where it's coming from. Like if you think people are just giving you being snarky just to be snarky, then that's not feedback you need to give a lot of weight to. But if it's somebody that you respect, either personally or professionally, then I think it's incumbent upon a creator to be open to at least hearing the feedback. You could in the end decide that they're wrong, but or you might try to get at the essence of what you were doing and say, well, maybe the way I expressed something that I want in my work isn't the right way to express it, but the core of what I'm trying to get to can take another form and still be there in the work in a way that I want it to be.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. And I think you're right.
I agree. I think that folks want to hear from Alex, because he's going to be the one who's going to be providing a lot of this feedback. But I wanted to note before we did that it's important to note, as far as I'm concerned, that folks who are playing and game mastering Mutants and Masterminds are already creators. Everybody who is engaging with this game creatively is a creator of their own characters, their own adventures, their own campaigns, all of that stuff. The question is whether or not they want to create for Green Renine. And that's a slightly different matter than creating for your own game, as far as that goes, with different rules and different outcomes, so far as that goes.
Yeah. Well, one of the things
line about everybody's a creator gave me goosebumps.
Me too. Honestly, it truly did, and it made me think
about RPGs is that everybody's a creator.
Mm-hmm. It reminded me as well that there is a certain aspect of what you don't particularly enjoy about an encounter. As a GM, you can change. That's the beauty of Mutants and Masterminds. You can augment and add and sort of subtract, or kind of come up with some of the stuff that works best for you, and you don't necessarily have to go to the original creator and say, "Hey, by the way, I think that your baby's ugly," or as.
But I kept its arm because I liked its arm.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Your baby's ugly but smart.
Right, right. Yeah. Or as Squire says, the correct way to express ugly baby is bless your heart. Yeah, yeah. Man, this episode has all the feels. It really does, Corey. It really does. RC says, just picked up Ahpook's new adventure and 4 others. So there are a couple questions here, too. There is an Astonishing Adventures assembled PDF for early backers, right? That for people who might have backed the
They do get the
Mega Bundle?
PDF for free if they back for 48 hours of the Kickstarter, but the PDF is not ready yet.
Yeah. So there you go. So it will be ready. I think that I'm looking at the calendar when it's ready. I think, yeah.
I'm putting
When
the
it's
final touches in on the filler text that needs to be added in, so it'll be ready
Beauty.
soon.
Okay,
TM,
nice.
TR.
Idiocy Inc. asks this question: when can we expect this astonishing adventure translated into Spanish so that my local friends can play with me? I'm not really sure how we handle localization, and so I'm not sure if this is something we want to kind of talk about later or share. Do we have somebody that's a publisher that is handling any of that stuff?
I don't know. I know we have Italian and French. I don't know about Spanish. I can look into it and get back to you next week.
So we'll dig into that for you, and thank you so much for keeping on us and asking the question. And we'll come back with an answer when we've got one. Until then, whatever the word in Spanish is for be patient. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, I'm reading this stuff. Okay, Pope.
Yeah, I do think for folks who are
Alex.
wondering about what we're looking for creator-wise at Green Ronin, we are looking to do some more Astonishing Adventures next year. I'm starting to put the schedule together for that, so I will be looking for writers for stuff like that soon. As far as where I'm coming from as an editor with feedback, I think it's important for every writer to know that if you are working with an editor that you are paying, there is a very good chance that they're not telling you things because they hate you or they want you to not be successful. I have been editing for a long time, and I know it's hard to get feedback. Believe me, I understand the gravity of the task that is put in front of an editor to look at something that you have poured so much time and energy into and have to tell you the things that either don't line up with the vision that we have for Mutants Masterminds, or things that aren't quite as polished as they could be, or things that could be better. And the important thing is you are the creator behind your art. You know what you want most. But when you work in a professional setting, there are going to be concessions that have to be made. And I try not to be, I try not to give, I'm not going to say throw your whole adventure away and start over. It'll be things like the transition material here could be a little stronger, or I think this scene is a little extra and isn't adding much content wise to the story, or just working on pacing and making sure that things are modular and fit and work for us and as an adventure. Because ultimately the Astonishing Adventures are meant to be toolkits for GMs. They are stories, but we want them to be able to be used for game masters any way that they need. So if there is a scene they want to lift out of the adventure and put into another adventure, we want to make sure that that's a possibility. If there's characters they want to take out, we want to make sure that's possible. If you're adding things to the Mutants and Masterminds canon, we like to be aware of it so that we can make sure it matches going forward. Just all sorts of things. And it's meant to be a collaboration. It's not the editor tearing apart your work. It's just we're working together on a project, and we have needs, and you're awesome, and we want to make you shine as great as you can.
Right. And speaking of the M&M canon, I think that it's important to note that one of our design goals for Astonishing Adventures was, hey, we have a lot of villains and locations and material for Mutants and Masterminds. How about we come up with some adventures that feature that stuff? And so it was one of the initial goals, and I think kind of an ongoing goal with Astonishing Adventures is the ability to take characters from Threat Report and Rogues Gallery and Freedom City and our existing products and present them in interesting scenarios so that players and game masters can start utilizing them, rather than just endlessly grinding out even more, villains and characters.
Yeah, adding depth as well as breadth.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, there were a couple little canon details I added in there for texture and flavor that I put them in there. If they don't like these, they could just edit them right out of there, and
Mhm.
but they decided to keep them. Like one little thing was how the Anthropology Museum in Freedom City has a big Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton in the lobby, and I named him Terry the T-Rex. That the staff like to say is grinning at everyone when they come in the door.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
No,
have stuff like that. I'm not gonna get rid of that stuff if I think it's fun. Like,
yeah, yeah.
I made Daedalus getting kidnapped canon in the Starhaven adventure, so
Right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That
he's my
didn't come
favorite
from
damsel in distress.
I was just gonna say that doesn't
Yep.
come from an axe to grind or anything. That's just
Not
it's
at
just for
all.
fun.
I don't bury hatchets to sharpen them.
That's right. I love it.
If you don't think that people become creators in the RPG business so that they can make their favorite things canon, then you're just vastly underestimating people's motivations.
This sounds like I've got a roadmap to gravy squatch right here, and I've got a whole there's gazpacho squatch, there's Alfredo squatch. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a whole
Over my
thing
dead
happening.
body, Troy.
Those are selling.
Curses! I was
But
like one of those villains.
I started where Ahpook is. That was the first thing I ever wrote for Green Ronin was an adventure.
What was your first adventure, Alex?
It was a small adventure that was meant to be given to the freebooters called Detritus, which was all about how Junkpile came to life and brought all of the junk in Freedom City to life to make a parade to go to the junkyard to fight the superheroes. It was a brief introductory, this is how to play M&M adventure.
Yeah.
That's and Ahpook, that was your goal too. Just sort of this is how you get into it. I love that so much. Now somebody, and I'm sorry, you may need to remind me who you were because I'm scrolling. There's so much going on in the chat, and for those of you who are hanging out or watching this on demand, you gotta check the chat always. There's always good stuff happening there. Somebody mentioned ECCC, which is the comics convention here in Seattle, and it made me think. Outside of RC saying time to assemble the infinity sauces, is that's funny.
My chat's broken, so I didn't see that.
Oh no! Yes. Time to assemble the infinity sauces. Delicious.
I'm so tired.
You're like, oh, I am so weary. I want to float a notion out there.
Yeah.
Green Ronin Con. I'm just gonna float it out there. Green Ronin Con. Something in the Pacific Northwest doesn't have to be huge. We don't need to have, a million people, though I'm certain a million people will be interested. I'm just throwing that out. Let that marinate. Let that kind of hang out there. Maybe there's some kind of a 2023 kind of opportunity where we, we all hang out. John Pologic says, the first thing I wrote for Green Ronin was an adventure all in back when they had George R.R. Martin's Wild Cards license. Yeah, that's right. RC just got back from PAX Unplugged. I'm real excited about that. And RC, I'm looking forward to getting an update from you on how that was. Because it's the only PAX I had. Well, that and PAX Australia. Those are the two that I haven't been to. I've been to every other PAX about 100 times.
I've never been to a PAX before.
What was that?
I kind of miss PAX Unplugged. I went the first couple of years, but haven't been since.
Yeah. And then we're starting to embrace the all of these events again, and we'll be figuring that out. And also, DT, you were right. Why not do EbGRCon online, or why not both? A little hybrid event. But Pope says Green Ronin Con in the green room of the Green Bay. Go all in on the green thing. Yes, absolutely.
I don't want to go to Wisconsin.
I do not either. Absolutely do not. I mean, no offense.
Not in December. I don't want to go in December.
Hey, we got good cheese up here. We don't need to be dealing with any of that. But yeah, so Aura says, Troy, if you want the Squatch Squad, I like how we're really getting into this. To be real, then you should consider making your own fan-made character folio. Hey, okay. Fair enough. J-Bone, good to see you as well, friend. I meant to shout you out. It's been a minute since we've been J-Boned, though I do think of you often when I roll poorly.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Running con games is fun. Always dope meeting new peeps. It is quite dope. I would agree with that.
But I love con games. It's one of the few joys I take from life always.
Oh, you're so good at it, Alex, too. Just I was looking at some images and some footage that we had captured from Gen Con that I had planned on using, but we both got the COVID and kind of knocked us out. But we sure did. But I was checking
vampires breathe right on my face.
Yeah, that's right. But it's a joy to watch. It's really a joy to watch. It's the same love that I see when Ahpook's running. It's just that totally present. Like there's not a moment of sort of artifice or kind of like, here I'm doing a thing and I'm looking like I'm putting on a show. It's just a blast. And that's one of the things that I love about all three of you.
You can draw a straight line from Alex's skill at running con games to where he is right now.
Well, yeah, exactly. Also, and a little known fact, the long con game, which is also something he's really good at. Yeah.
It took a while, but we got there.
We did. Yeah, exactly. We went a long way around for that. Let's see.
If you are looking to get into writing for RPGs in general, conventions are a great place to go to network and to show off what you can do. And maybe you'll get lucky and Steve Kenson will get put in your game by lottery.
Right. Yeah, that's right. And anybody who is looking to make it big in the industry, just hunt down Steve wherever he's at and just be like, just stand there waiting for the with
do
the
not do that.
Don't do that.
and with all seriousness, you
can hunt me down. I'll take that for Steve now.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But that also don't do that to Alex either. And I know that Alex is saying, yes, please, let's talk. These opportunities are not an invitation to sort of barrage Alex with your ever waking, with your every waking creative reflex. Like you definitely want to understand that there is only one Alex, and will definitely there are opportunities to have discussions like this. So take those opportunities when you see them and engage, but don't hunt him down. And don't harangue him endlessly, because that's why they call me a meat shield. Because there are times when I'm not just a disembodied me. I'm also, a meaty shield. That's right.
I do accept emails and messages or whatever. You just have to be okay if I don't answer for a while.
Right, and that's fair too. Yeah. That's really what it boils down to. And if you, another way to get engaged in that process is to send a note to let's play at greenronin.com, where you will also be ignored for some time, if not forever. So
to be fair, I did read your message and I'm stressed out about it because I haven't responded yet, but it is
that's right. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. We don't want to add a bunch of stress to Alex's plate. So his delicious gravy soaked meat shield. Ay. Let's see. Let's see. Pope says, be nice to Alex. He's a good lad who takes great care of his father's ravens. Huggin' and munnin'. What? Huggin' and Munin? Am I missing it?
Hugin and Munin.
Hugin and Munin. Oh, I see. Well, I've heard your dad. Big deal in some places. Let's see.
Right.
Oh my gosh, RC, that is well said. Stress doesn't get us more wonderful superhero stuffs. No, it does not. Indeed. D. Buccino says,
And then
speaking of
the
stress, that's right. What's up next for Eminem? We have?
Like, release this new adventure today, but what have you done for us lately?
That's right.
There is a lot of good stuff coming for Eminem soon. I've been continuing to do development work on the time travel trilogy, so that'll be coming out soon. Everybody will be excited to know that I have received the turnovers for the Vigilante's Handbook, and I'm working on putting that all together. So that's one of my first goals, is to get that finished and sent out to all of you, because I know you've been waiting for it a long time. I mean, I did my writing for it in 2018, so we've all been waiting for it for a long time. And there is a very secret thing that I can't talk about yet, but it is going to be very exciting to all of you.
Oh, the secret thing. That's right.
I will say that a couple people poked me and said, hey, what about that secret thing? That's not today. I know we said it was today, but we're liars. And we rescind it because it is on our public calendar. But we had a more important thing to talk about, and that was Ahpook's, grand reveal. Also, Pope says, "Are we still allowed to stress Troy out a little bit?" Because because I have a question. If the answer is only a little bit, but you're on thin ice, Pope. That's right. Give me your badge and your gun, Pope. Yeah, you can stress me out. Why would you stop today? I
Pope Brandon is a loose cannon cop.
You're a loose cannon, Pope. Here's a good question from our friend Idio, who says, Ahpook, what's the first step of writing an adventure? Like a song, you start out with the chorus. Where did you start?
I think I started out with, as I think I mentioned before, kind of the idea of wanting to highlight the breadth of the kind of things that you could do in a superhero adventure that wasn't just punching bad guys and stuff. And I've always been a fan of skill challenges ever since their official creation in 4th edition D&D. Kind of like the best thing, in my opinion, that we got out of 4th edition D&D. But I incorporate versions of skill challenges in almost all of my adventures. So there's you'll see maybe a slightly higher percentage of those that you might see in another adventure in mine. For that reason, to sort of give people more things to do than just fighting. But I think it's fun to put those things together and have multiple goals in any sort of given encounter. So that way, if you're in an encounter, someone, certain players are more interested in fighting, certain players are more interested in problem solving or finding a different way to figure out how to complete the situation. So I try to give as many of those options in the encounters that I build as possible to make it as engaging as possible to different people.
Well, I'm checking this out. There's a question in chat from John who says, is that, what did you ask, John? You said, is that Skyjack and the Sky Pirates?
It is indeed.
Yeah.
It is
Skyjacker, okay.
Skyjacker and his team of Sky Pirates.
Nice. Very nice.
There's
have
a ton of villains in this that are great. There's
Yeah,
some
right?
from Rogue's Gallery, and there's some that Ahpook came up with himself that squeaked into canon.
Yeah.
And
nice. Squeaked right in.
Cool combination of villains, too.
Yeah, Ahpook used IGT 92, which I appreciated because that's one of mine from Rogue's Gallery.
Oh, is it really? So, who's IGT 92?
IGT 92 is a defective invasion robot from space who believes he was sent here to prepare the Earth for an invasion from an alien race that may never be coming to Earth. But he's going to do his best to get it right for them.
I love it.
It's corrupted by capitalism.
Oh gosh, yeah, aren't we?
That'll corrupt anybody.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Hanover says, one quick question. Somebody's asking, when is the drafting table coming back? It will be coming back very soon. Here's the deal. I have got a phenomenal episode coming up. Again, it was one of those moments where I'm like, okay, we'll do 15 minutes. And then we sat down and we talked, and it was like an hour and 15. And so I know that people are waiting patiently. I'm in the midst of some travel out of the country. In a couple weeks, I'm going to be back, and then we're going to hit that drafting table with a vengeance. And I don't know, friends. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it down to 15 minutes.
No, there has literally never been a time when Troy has said, "Hey, let's talk for 15 minutes," but that's actually been true.
No, it's always a lie, or it's at least an attempt. But yeah, I mean, it is. You'd think at my 28 years of age that I would. I'm sticking to it, but no. There is so much to unpack and so much awesome stuff to explore, and I got to tell you, it is absolutely energizing to sit down and talk with people who love their M&M characters and who have created these. It is just phenomenal, and so it will, hang tight. I'm going to get you in, and we'll do some interviews. I'm going to release the one that we're sitting on now, and I want to thank people for being so patient as we figure this stuff out. But we'll work in the cadence. We'll get it there so that we do sort of that regular beat. Maybe we'll pick a day and we'll do a whole bunch of recordings so that we have some stuff, and then I'll end up sharing them all. I'm just bad at that. It's like Christmas time. I want everyone to have their present now. But yeah, so hang tight. I do promise you that those will come. I do not promise you that they'll be brief. Let's see.
I want everyone to have their present now is how I feel about The Secret I want to talk about. But
I know, Alex, I know.
So this has been the hardest 6 months for me in the whole of my career. I need you all to know that it is coming. It is coming.
Alex is learning the hard lesson of the RPG business, where one of the most common answers to "so what have you been doing?" is upholding my non-disclosure agreement.
Hate it.
Yeah, and that gates so many really, really good, juicy, fun stuff. But we will, we will release the pressure at some point in time. But that time ain't today. Hey, there is a question somebody had mentioned, and I don't know who you are, so you'll have to remind us in chat. But they said that they noticed a new mechanic in this Astonishing Adventure. Is that something you want to talk about, or shall we keep it, under wraps?
Oh no, it's not something super secret like that. It was another thing that I was like, I'm not sure if I should put this in or not. I figure they could just edit it out if they don't like it. It's actually a house rule that we developed through our play in the Freedomverse server, and that's the idea of lieutenants. Instead of making a little step between the big bad villains and sort of like the minions that you can just sort of wipe out en masse. Right. I won't go into all the details, but it provides a little step between those two places, so you can add a little bit more diversity into your combat situations.
I love that. I love that. Now, right. Yeah, Minions, kind of a Minions plus. Yeah. A quick question for you, Ahpook. That house rule, can you think back on when you started kind of adopting it or incorporating and sort of, do you remember the roots of that or where it kind of came from?
Yeah, I think it was actually from sort of a place of two different kinds of pressure. On the one hand, there are certain advantages and powers and abilities that allow you to just take out whole rooms of minions at a time. And so we were trying to come up with a balance between still allowing people who like to have those kinds of characters be able to play them, and having sort of a stopgap to make it so they can't just completely wipe everything out and either force the GM to extensively remake their plans or take away opportunities for other players to shine in the encounter. And so the happy medium was to sort of create a new thing that allowed both of those styles of play to still exist at the same time with each other.
I like that.
That's-
I like
For
it.
the
a lot.
record, Chris Pramus and
Team
Dylan
Master
Templar.
Criminal.
For the record, Chris Pramus and Dylan Templar will blow up all of your minions if they have the chance.
Yeah, they 100% will.
Darn
They
it,
killed
I-
everybody but the Nazi monkey last night.
I am so mad that I wasn't able to join in.
Yeah, you missed a thing.
It sounds like it. We're of
You
course
missed a
talking
fuel
about
air
it.
explosion is what you missed.
Nice. At first, what I thought you were saying, Alex, is Chris Pramus is Dylan Templar.
Yes.
We've seen them both in the same place at the same time.
I was going to say that it has been debunked, or has it? Could it have been someone in a mask? You don't know for sure.
It's Clark
Or
Kent
maybe
and Bruce Wayne again.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. Raymond, I'm just going to say that every time you try to guess the secret, a bit of the secret is lost to everyone forever.
No, don't say that. I'm still working on it.
We pinch little bits of the secret so that you'll never know it. So every time you ask about it, you'll end up with a pretty bland secret. As we start to pinch pieces of it. I'm just kidding. We'd never do that.
Hey, RC points out the idea of write what you think would be cool and leave it up to the editor or developer to tell you no. And I think that is a great rule of thumb. Don't self-censor yourself when it comes to your creative efforts. If you think something's cool, put it in there and leave it up to them to tell you if they want to go that way or not.
Yeah, that's called using your editor to your advantage instead of feeling limited by your editor. Feel freed by your editor. You're like, these are the things that I want to do. I'll put them in there, and if the editor doesn't like them, they can always just take them out.
Yeah, if it's too much, they'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. That's a cruel, wonderful thing to do. It's just like put all the jam packet with the stuff that you think is really cool, and that and then let the editor say, "Oh, which one of these babies?" They're also
these are all pretty babies.
They're also pretty. Yeah. Let's see.
Don't take that out of context, internet.
I know. I what's so funny, Alex? I was like, well, that's an attractive baby. I was like, there got to be a better way to say that. Pope says the secret is that Alex actually loves the gravy squatch. See, I need to read these all the way through before I just start.
Before you start reading them out loud, yeah.
I know.
That
You
is
think.
not the secret.
Alex is like, that is not the truth. There's nothing true about it. Bowman will be there. I'm certain that part is true. Hanover says was a good one. So I'll ask again. Troy sidetracked on me. Ahpook, you've got a lot of experience with different systems. Does experience in any one system seem to aid you more in creating Mutants and Masterminds adventures?
I would say
Masterminds.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mutants and Masterminds, but I would say a good rule of thumb is to find, if you find things in other systems that you really like and can be applied to what you're doing, then you should go for it. Like a good example of that was the rule, that extra rule I was talking about. Like that's something that we have gotten a lot of really good mileage out of, and I thought, maybe other people might like this.
Yeah.
Well, listen, one of the things that I've noticed with Mutants and Masterminds Monday is right when I feel like we are getting into the meat of the matter, right when we get phenomenal offers to sort of promote our channel. Goodbye. That it's time to be done. It's 3:02. I mean, by my watch, it's actually by my watch. It's like 2 a.m. It's tomorrow. Yeah. It is definitely Tuesday over here. But I want to say this. Listen, when you're on your side of the hemasphere, 2-hour M&M Mondays. Yes. No. And here's the beautiful thing. Our friend Idio says, no, we're not finished tormenting Ahpook. Well, here's the thing. He is a published developer now. He has designed, so his torment never ends.
Welcome to Purgatory.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
That's
At least I'm in good company down here.
That's true. Squire says, without Dr. Corgi here to tell us the time it sneaks up on you. That is very, very true. That is very true. But I do want to say this: in your side of the globe, on Tuesday, there is something happening, and it is exciting, and it is important, and it is going to be starring. We'll have Alex there. We will have Steve there. We will have Chris Pramus there. And hold on one second. This is all very exciting. While I share with you a Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter update is over on our with our friends Handelabra that are developing Sentinels of Earth Prime. The video game? What? Talk a little bit about that while I bring up the share.
Right.
Is that you, Steve?
Yeah.
Is that you, Alex?
So, Sentinels of Earth Prime, the video game, is being produced by our friends over at Handelabra, who are the people who handle the Sentinels of the Multiverse video game.
Mm-hmm.
And they have been hard at work getting all of our Earth Prime characters ready for their first big digital debut. And I think we'll be showcasing some of the game tomorrow night, talking about the UI, talking about the art design process, all sorts of stuff. I know it'll be available on Steam. But
that's right. Well, so the beta testing has begun. Now, people who have backed the Kickstarter will, at this level, will be able to actually participate in the private beta test. They've got. I know I'm in it. I know that we're all in it. Let's see.
I've played a couple of games of it, and it's been really fun.
Yeah.
Really
I have not gotten into
because
it yet.
I've got a lot of work to do, but it has been a lot of fun.
I like that. But here's the deal. We're going to be doing, we'll be hosting the live stream as well, but it'll be a playthrough. And let's see. That is going to be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, so we'll be doing a preview of that, of the beta, and we'll have 3 green Ronins hanging out there, and you'll see. Look at that, looking good.
Yeah,
looking real good. Of course, yeah.
Look at our Freedom Leaguers.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. So
also our boy Hades. Shout out to Hades in the chat.
Yeah.
Look how good he looks.
There you go. That is true. RC just says, "Ooh, just check the website and they'll support Steam Workshop, meaning you can create your own cards." Yeah, so check out that link on the Kickstarter, and then stop by the stream tomorrow and show some love and ask your questions and get engaged and be a part of that magic. We really do love our friends over at Handelabra. They are great people to work with. Talk to them on a regular. Great job, infinitely patient, and working diligently on this good stuff. Bowman's beautiful, says Claude.
Claude just had a Bowman blowout.
Yes. Yes,
and the Handelabra folks have been putting up with all kinds of weird, detailed nitpicking. Like these are the colors that Lantern Jack's lantern glows in.
Right. That's right, Claude. Good. We're glad you're going to be there. Oh geez, Pope. Custom cards. We're getting Shrek cards. I'll make sure of that. Okay. You're a monster, Pope. You're a loose cannon, Pope. All right, friends, listen. Nice. RC says that they'll check out the video on demand. So if you are checking this video on demand, or if you're just hanging out in the chat right now, there are plenty of you. It looks like 3,000 of you are watching concurrently. Do me a favor, just stop what you're doing, take a look at the screen. If there's like anywhere where they're like, is there a thumb in the up direction, or like a collection of stars or hearts, or I don't know, a coin slot, put all your coins there. Give us the hearts, give us the thumbs up, say something, and say, hey, hi, I love you. or something similarly positive, share the link, send it to a friend, send it to a hero that you know or a hero to be, send it to your mom. She's looking forward to knowing what you're getting into and why you're having so much fun and where you hang out every single Monday, 2 p.m. Pacific.
Like Tinkerbell, Troy lives entirely off your validation.
That's right. The more validation you give,
Click the likes to keep Troy alive.
that's right. Otherwise, I dry up. I become a powder. As
I have
opposed
seen
to
a wilted Troy, and it is not a good thing.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
It is not a good look. Idio says, thank you, Uncle Alex, Uncle Steve, Uncle Troy, and Romano. That's you. You're Romano, Ahpook. A great stream. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Truly, truly appreciate it. Of course, we'll be back next Monday. You want to check out our friends on the stream tomorrow, which you will see on our stream as well as our friends over at Handelabra. You best go over there and follow them and give them likes and loves and all that stuff because they deserve. They're working hard for that. Outside of that, I feel like there's something I'm missing. I don't know what it is. But that's right. That's right. Yeah. Thank you all for your engaging chat. We truly, truly appreciate it. We appreciate you. And we know that, you can be doing a lot of different things on a Monday, but spending it, doing the Moo Mamo thing. I know what it is. Hey, Ahpook, congratulations. Wonderful work.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So glad to see it.
Thank you so much.
So very glad. And with that, friends, I say unto you all, good memo to you, and we will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye,
See you, everybody.
Bark, bark.